Commissioner Scorpio's orders still stand.
I want to go upstairs and visit my wife.
Mrs. Lavery is being held in custody. She can't have any visitors.
I'm not just a visitor.
Authorized personnel only are allowed upstairs.
Then find that authorizing me to go upstairs, please, if you don't.
I'm afraid we don't have the power to do that.
She hasn't been arrested for anything.
Until Commissioner Scorpio tells us otherwise.
Okay, then fine. You play it by the book. You contact Commissioner Scorpio and get me permission to get upstairs.
We can't leave our post. Believe this.
Got here as fast as I could. What is this about Olivia St. John's condition?
She's been shot. She's in critical condition with internal bleeding and other complications. She's in very bad shape.
They took her straight to OR?
They're prepping her right now.
Okay, I'm on my way.
Tell me.
Excuse me.
Need some identification, please?
What do you mean identification? No, I'm
We're
a
in the
doctor
middle
here.
of an investigation now.
What? You want
Jesus.
All right, fine. I have identification somewhere here. I don't believe this is happening. I'm supposed to be in surgery.
Yeah, here, this too. Okay.
Robert,
Okay. Not clear.
take a look at this.
Bullet?
Right in the top frame of the chair.
Can I have somebody over here, please? I want this removed from the chair. Try not to damage it any further.
Thanks. You know, I'm almost sorry I found the damn thing.
Well, this isn't much fun for me either, you know.
We certainly aren't the most objective investigators right now.
Well, I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah, in the process, we're nailing Anna.
I don't have time to think about
That's
that.
all I can think about it.
Well, think about finding enough evidence to clear up.
We're going to need a hell of a lot of evidence.
Well, think about finding a miracle.
She wouldn't. She would?
She couldn't.
She does.
No comment.
What is going on?
I'm off the
Olivia's shooting was a professional hit. Wait.
All right, one thing at a time.
Now, if you'll just calm down, I'll endeavor to make a statement here. As you know, earlier this evening, Olivia St. John was shot in this room here.
Was it a coincidence she was shot on the same night that you busted up the families of the mob?
No, it had nothing to do with that. We don't think at this particular point. In terms of her wounds, yes, she's critical and currently under treatment at General Hospital.
What are her chances?
Better talk to the doctor about that.
Any arrests yet?
Not yet.
No suspects at all?
We are holding a material witness.
I have a feeling you're not telling us something, Commissioner.
Who is the witness?
Anna Devane Lavery. Yes.
She's a suspect then?
No, she's not. Not
Well,
yet.
you expect she will be.
I didn't say that.
How implicated is your ex-wife in the shooting, Commissioner?
Anna is a material witness, and that's it.
Do you have any evidence directly relating her to the crime?
We have reason to believe she may be of some help in solving it.
You don't hold helpful witnesses, Commissioner, not unless you suspect that she's directly involved.
Sounds like you may be protecting your ex-wife.
Well, what I've given you to date is fact. Everything else is just a guess.
Is there more
You
than
have any other angles at all that you are pursuing, Commissioner?
We're pursuing anything and everything we possibly can.
Is Mrs. Lavery
Have any
guilty
male
of attempted
suspects?
murder?
Any other angle, please.
Look, I'll say this. In order not to fuel any unnecessary rumors, I will make no further comment.
I'm going to go back inside. Honey, I'll see you later.
I'm so sorry about that. I had no idea, Robert.
Oh, I guess I don't expect.
Well, you're going to have to expect a lot more because this is going to get worse, I tell you, unless you can find some way that you can prove that Anna didn't do this.
Tiffany, there is nothing I would like more than to do that. In the meantime, what's happened to my daughter?
Ruby has it.
Great. What's happened to Cheryl?
Oh, Cheryl, I haven't heard a word about anything. I don't know. I go from being worried to being mad at her. I'm back again. I don't know.
I hope nothing's happened to
Well, I
her.
hope nothing's happened to her. If I find out that she's been doing something she hasn't let us know, I'm just going to ring her neck.
Look, I've not got to go back
Look,
inside.
please, just one more. How does it look? Off the breaker.
It's not good, Tiff. It's not good at all.
Robert, you know good and well that Anna could not have shot Olivia. You know she's not capable of that. You've got to prove that.
I'm a poor, miserable cop, not a defense attorney.
Well, you better start acting like a defense attorney or do something. You know.
I'm doing all I can, and it just isn't quite enough.
Okay.
Tiffany, come on, Tiffany, tell us something. Anyone else left? Come on.
Just where do you think you're going? You know who I am. I know who you're not. You're not authorized medical personnel. No, and you're not going to stop me from visiting with my wife.
That's true, we're not.
Then kindly move aside, would you please?
Scorpio is. Get the commissioner to change his orders. We'll hold the door open for you.
You've absolutely no right. My wife is inside. You move aside, let me in, or else I'm... Oh, you'll do what? I'll move you aside myself. Do us a favor, Mr. Lavery, please. Hit the road. We don't want to arrest you. What do you mean arrest me? Poor Charles police don't arrest people anymore. They put them in empty hospital rooms so they can trump up charges against them.
No. Now. Anna.
Now, you've got to take it easy. You are not strong enough to be up and about. Whatever you say. Now, you've got to start taking care of your health. If you have any problems tonight, you give me a call. Otherwise, I'll stop by and see you in the morning, all right? How's Olivia?
In critical condition, last I heard. I just took her to OR.
Well, that's too bad.
You feel sorry for Olivia?
No, it's too bad they didn't just let her die. The vital signs are poor. I'm not surprised.
So it looks like we got a couple of problems here.
Yes, 2 gunshot wounds. There's 1 bullet lodged near the spine. Have you notified Tony? He's on his way. I don't think he'll have much problem with that one.
Yeah, but that's not what's causing the hemorrhaging, no?
No, it's that second one. That's what's doing it. Bullet went all the way through her body, managing to rupture the mammary artery near the heart along the way.
Okay, that's a priority then.
Has to be a priority. If you don't stop the bleeding, then she's not going to live long enough to have time to even try to get to that bullet. Dane, how much longer?
She's ready as she'll ever be.
Okay, then, team, let's go. Listen up, I don't want to repeat myself. The margin for error in this one is 0.
Excuse me, Commissioner Scorpio. We have a possible witness in the bedroom.
A possible.
Yeah, I think you better come and look at this one yourself.
This sort of thing just does not happen in a first-class hotel. People shoot themselves on television, but not across the hall.
This is Mrs. Jameson. She's staying in the suite right across the hall.
So I gathered.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Commissioner Robert Scorpio, ma'am, and I'd like to ask you a few questions.
I'm asking all the questions here. What happened to poor Charles? This used to be such a nice, quiet place to live, and now it's a shooting gallery. And why aren't you doing your job and taking all the criminals to Miami or Los Angeles or someplace like that where they belong?
Well, you see, the problem, Mrs. Jamison, is that there's just not enough good citizens like yourself anymore.
Like me?
Absolutely. Now, tell me, what did you see or hear earlier this evening?
Oh, I heard a terrible argument coming from this very suite.
How many voices?
2, both women's, and naturally I felt it my duty to investigate, so I grabbed my umbrella and carefully opened the door.
Your umbrella?
For a weapon, of course.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Oh, and I couldn't see a soul, but the shouting grew louder.
Mm-hmm. Could you make out anything that was said?
No, I'm afraid not. But I was tempted to bang on the door and demand a little consideration. Instead, I returned to my suite to call the desk and complain. But naturally, the lines were all busy. And it was then that I heard the popping noise. It sounded just like a firecracker.
How many did you hear?
Oh, a bunch. I didn't count them.
At about what time was this?
Around 8 o'clock or maybe closer to 8:30.
Now, did you see anybody enter or leave the suite before or after the shots?
No.
Well, I think that'll be all. Thank you very much, Mrs. Jamison.
Oh, anytime.
Officer Harper here will take you back to your suite.
Bye.
Bye.
Masterful, absolutely masterful.
Hey, you two want to join me on the balcony? We found something.
Where'd you find it?
This potted tree right here.
Anything else?
No, nothing so far.
You recognize it?
No. You?
No, not at all.
Well, it belongs to someone. Anna, Olivia. Maybe someone else.
Wow. This place hasn't changed at all.
Did you come here often?
Yeah, whenever we needed to disappear. Pop always said, if you had to go to the mattresses, you should go in style. That's not bad, huh?
It's fine.
It's not a suite at the Port Charles Hotel, but it's a lot quieter.
Who owns it?
We do, the family. It's a safe house. Honey, we're up in the mountains. We're as good as invisible. No one's going to think to find us here. Are you cold?
Freezing.
We'll light a fire.
Uh-huh.
Here. It's better, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Come on. It's okay. It's okay. Relax. God, you're trembling.
I told you I'm cold.
Are you really cold or are you just scared?
Both.
You're all right. You're safe. There's nothing to worry about. Now just relax.
Julian, what happened tonight?
I don't know.
I must have lost my mind.
Well, you were a little close to the edge, honey, but I think you're okay.
Feels like I'm dreaming.
Look, we're all in the same nightmare. Olivia, too.
And Anna. I'm sure Anna was there. That was her voice. Do you think she shot her?
I don't know. I really don't know what to think. Come on, let's get some news on here. I'm surprised we didn't hear anything up in the way in the car. We've got to have a story by now. Oh, come on. Whenever you want music, you get news. When you want to find out who shot who, you got the hit parade.
Well, we know who got shot. We just want to know who pulled the trigger.
Yeah, and if the victim's still alive.
Do you think Olivia's dead?
Your guess is as good as mine.
What about Anna? I mean, do you think she really went there with a gun? Do you think she shot her?
She could have.
What if she missed? What if it was my gun? What if it was the bullet from my gun that hit Olivia?
Item 1 is a weapon found in Mrs. Lavery's hand. 3 shots were fired. What about prints? We lifted what was there. Lab boys will take it from here. I want that report the minute it comes through. They'll rush it over right away. And then we uncovered 3 shell casings. Where? And we found them right in the middle of the room. And then there's this. A jeweled earring, owner unknown, found in a potted plant out in the balcony. Prints? We'll check. Slim pickings.
What'd you expect?
An alibi?
Yeah.
Commissioner, got another bullet. Went right through this painting. It's embedded in the wall. We're going to have to dig it out.
All right, listen.
We've got to run the usual gun checks here. I want to go for registry, anywhere the thing could have been purchased. I'm trying to establish ownership here.
Yeah, we'll start the forensics test, too, but it won't be conclusive.
I know, until we get the report back from General as to how many bullets are in Olivia St. John. And at the moment, it's the most important piece of evidence we have, and we've got to sit around and wait for it.
Looks like the same one. We got it. Yeah, it looks like... You're right.
There's got to be some news on here sometime.
I'm really not sure I want to hear it.
And by now, they probably picked up the gunman. Woman, whatever.
No. Either that or she's hiding up in a mountain cabin waiting word of her victim.
Stop it.
I
Come on.
can't help it.
You didn't shoot her. Wait a second.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a news report. Former Port Charles Police Chief Anna Devane Lavery was taken into custody this evening at the scene of a shooting in a suite at the Port Charles Hotel. The victim has been identified as Olivia St. John, owner of an art gallery in New York City. Miss St. John is the daughter of the alleged mob kingpin, Victor Jerome. In an apparent coincidence at the time of the shooting, police were downstairs in the hotel ballroom, springing the trap on an elaborate and highly successful sting operation, which netted major crime bosses from the Jerome and Carter clans, including the ailing Victor Jerome. His daughter, Miss St. John, is presently in critical condition, undergoing surgery at General Hospital to save her life. Commissioner Scorpio refused to comment on whether charges will be filed against Mrs. Lavery. We'll keep you updated on this story as it unfolds. Now back to regularly scheduled.
God, Olivia, whatever happened to you?
She's certainly paying for what she's done.
Dead or alive. She'll never make up for the grief she's caused. Poor old Pop. Surprised this hasn't killed him already.
And as if Olivia isn't enough, now he has to deal with the police.
He could always deal with the cops better than he could Olivia.
Looks like, Robert pulled off a coup tonight.
Yeah. And I'll bet he's just frantic about Anna. You know, I still don't think she shot Olivia.
Well, who did?
I could have.
You didn't, and we just not start that again, please.
How do you know that? I fired the gun before you stopped me.
You didn't hit her.
I was aiming right at her.
I knocked your arm out of the way. It's impossible.
What difference does it make?
Difference between your gun and somebody else.
Well, the fact is, I went in there with the intention of killing her. Whether or not I succeeded is immaterial. I should have stayed to face the consequences. I'm just as guilty as Anna.
Okay, well, we've got Olivia here. That would put Anna here.
Exactly where we found her.
We know that there were 3 shots fired. One found in the back of the chair, one in the wall behind the painting.
And the third one is in Olivia. You missed a spot.
Yeah, well, presumably.
Yeah, but so that would make it very simple to figure out the trajectories, right?
We also got to have the doctor's report before we can even draw anything close to an accurate conclusion.
Anything else, Commissioner?
I'll do for the moment, but stick around.
Yes, sir.
You know, the big hurdle now is linking the bullet in the victim to Anna's gun.
Yeah, I'd also like to know how many times specifically Olivia was hit.
It's more than 3. We got a big problem.
One I'd gladly welcome.
Now, yeah, come in. Now,
Excuse me, Commissioner. We got a mob of reporters out there foaming at the mouth, waiting for an update. Anything I can tell them?
Yeah, tell them to go take a hike.
Sorry, sir. I don't think that'll do it.
Well, tell them they're going to have to wait like the rest of us.
Yes, sir.
No, what the hell? What do you want?
You know I want.
Remind me.
I want to see my wife.
look, how many times do I have to tell you?
I'm telling you, and you better listen. You call your man off and you let me be with my wife, otherwise you'll get more trouble than you're bargaining for. You think this is a mess now? Then just you wait.
Can you leave us for a minute? This won't take very long.
No, you're right about that.
All right. Now, what I said still holds. Going on what we've already discovered, I should have arrested Anna quite a while back. Anybody else, and I would have.
Anna told you she didn't shoot.
That doesn't count for anything.
That means something to me.
Well, you're not sworn to uphold the law.
Oh, I ask you for justice. What did you give me? The whole bloody manual?
Listen, what I'm doing is giving it to you the way it is. Now, I've gone against better judgment by putting up arresting her this long.
You'd arrest an innocent person.
You use your bloody brains for a bit and not your heart. I will not. I cannot stretch the limits of my responsibility by giving her preferential treatment. I'd like to think she'd have it no other way.
Oh, I see. Your own precious personal integrity is at stake. Well, you know what I think? I think you're protecting your own rear end. You'd any guts you wouldn't hide behind your bloody badge.
You keep this up and I'm going to throw you in the can as well. At least that way we can keep it in the family.
Oh, nice to see you. Still got a sense of humor.
I have work to do, so if you're finished...
I won't be finished if you still plan to nail Olivia's shooting on Anna.
Nail it? Nail it? I couldn't get this offer with a bulldozer.
You don't even want to try, though, do you? You're quite content to see your ex-wife and the mother of your child get on under a bum rap where you quote yourself an official procedure.
Well, at least I'm not putting myself above the law.
Maybe just for once you should.
And maybe you should keep your nose out of other people's business.
My wife is my business.
And now, thanks to your scuzzy friends, she's mine. Now, perhaps I can cloak myself in more official procedure or business, as you put it, by throwing you in the can for obstructing justice.
I see, that's the way your world works, isn't it? Every problem you confront, as long as there's an empty jail cell, you put it away, then you don't have to face it. Well, I tell you, mister, you're looking at one problem that isn't going to disappear.
Still on his feet, got me 20.
Where were we?
We were trying to prove that anybody other than Anna shot Olivia.
Right. We have three shots fired. We have 3 casings recovered, all from the same caliber gun.
Yeah, but we only recovered 2 slugs.
Yeah. The one we dug out of the chair, we sent down to ballistics. The one that entered the wall is awash. It shattered against that steel beam, and it can't be traced to any gun.
Which leaves us where?
Up the creek without a paddle and a boat.
Can you keep your editorial comments to yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Look, circumstantial evidence seems to prove that Anna was the one that shot Olivia, for whatever that's worth.
Well, unfortunately, it's worth quite a lot, but I still want solid proof.
And that may come in the form of a bullet they take out of Olivia's body, fingerprint found on the weapon, ownership papers for the gun. But my feeling is that we should stick with the people who are working on Olivia.
No word from the hospital yet?
Not yet. Which leads me to believe there may have been some complications.
You have to admit it's possible.
Honey, I could be president tomorrow, too, which isn't very possible.
We don't know exactly what happened there.
I've told you 10 times. I knocked your arm out of the way before you got the
And
shot
that was
off.
the first shot.
The only shot.
No, there were 2 shots. I'm sure of it.
There was 1 shell casing on the balcony. I threw it over the edge before we left.
I don't know what happened to the other one. I don't know, but I'm sure that there were 2 shots fired from my gun. What happened to my gun, anyway?
I threw it away.
Well, if the first one missed, the second one very well may have hit her.
Look. Even if it's true, which it isn't, there's nothing you can do about it now. Will you please sit down?
I can go and tell Robert everything I know.
Forget about that.
Why?
For Anna's sake.
For Anna's sake or mine.
Look, the very best possible thing we can do is stay quiet until we find out what the police do know. We don't know if they got a case against Anna. If they think they do, what we'd have to tell them will only make things worse for her.
How?
What's Scorpio going to say when you walk in and tell him you overheard a violent argument between Olivia and Anna?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of it like that. All right. I guess maybe we'll keep quiet for now. But I'm not hiding anymore. I'm going back to Port Charles.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You should. It's been way too long. We don't arouse any more suspicions.
Well, I've certainly been good at that lately.
Shh, come here. Look at me. Whatever happens, I'm here.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Don't appreciate it, believe it.
I'm just worried about what Robert believes. I haven't given him much cause to trust me lately, and now this.
Evening, Tom.
Hello, Duke.
Maybe said I might find you here. It's a bit late, isn't it, on your runs?
Well, you could tell that to Simone's patient. I had to bring her in to see a child who had the nerve to spike up his fever at this late hour. Can you imagine?
Yeah, kids can be inconsiderate. Can I join you?
Please, sit down. I could use the company. So, were you looking for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ask you something. How does a miscarriage affect a woman?
Well, that's more Dr. Collins' department.
No, I mean psychologically. How does that affect her? Because it's certainly shaking the hell out of me.
Welcome to the club. I was a wreck for weeks after Simone lost our baby.
How did you deal with it?
Well, I can hardly say that our case was a textbook example. Simone took off with her mother. I buried myself deep in my work. I wouldn't recommend either approach.
Well, what would you recommend?
Well, it depends on the couple. Mostly you just try to write it out. The one critical thing is not to bury your emotions. Whatever grief, fear, helplessness you feel, it's got to be dealt with one way or another. I'm a strong believer in talking things through.
It can be different for a woman, though, kid. I mean, the depression can have a physical basis, can it?
Absolutely. We've seen solid evidence of hormonal changes in women who have undergone miscarriages. This can produce deeply disturbing psychological problems, even aberrant behavior.
Aberrant how?
You're asking whether a woman would be driven to acts of violence after such an experience. I believe so.
Yeah.
I heard the news, Duke. There's a possibility that Anna may have shot Olivia St. John, right?
Well, it's more than just a possibility. That's why I wanted to talk to you.
You're wondering about grounds for an insanity plea?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to think of Anna that way, but if it's going to help her.
It could. But then the final decision would be up to the lawyers, the judge, maybe even a jury.
God help us if it gets that far. Anna's innocent. Am I the only person who believes that?
Breathe a word to anyone. Is it from Dick? Who else? I'll hide the rest, don't worry.
No, it's the least I could do.
Just a quick note, love, to let you know I'm thinking of it every minute. I tried to get in to see you, but only medical personnel are allowed through. I pray you're okay. Try not to worry. I know you're innocent. We'll make them realize that. Whatever happens, I'm with you all the way. Take very special care. I love you. I miss you very much. Duke.
Oh, this is what it's like to be on the other side of the law. I think I'd rather be wearing a badge. Who ever thought you'd be guarding me?
Not me. Not in a million years.
Oh, well.
I learned a lot from you, Anna.
Oh. I remember when you and Frisco first joined the force.
Oh, such a disaster.
Well, Frisco was worse. I thought that the guy was going to throw him out of the academy before he even got a chance to walk a beat.
I wish he was here now. Befitting in a way. To come full circle like this.
I thought you'd want to know. The surgery's over.
Oh. How's Olivia?
She's hanging in there, but just barely.
Don't. Please keep any comments that you have about Olivia to yourself. For your own protection.
What do we got? We got shell casings. We got a slug. We got an earring.
All evidence against Anna.
I want concrete evidence at this point. That's all I'm interested in, rather than personal opinion. Unless, of course, you want to hazard an explanation.
You know, I saw what we both saw. But I also know that what sometimes seems to be is not necessarily true, okay?
You're a big help.
All right, you know, the lab will give you some answers on the bullets and the gun and all that, but I'll tell you something. That earring might turn out to be completely useless to us.
Right. It's either it's Anna's or it's Olivia's or it's the past occupant of that suite.
Thanks. I'll tell you something else, though. It's not going to tell us anything we don't already know.
I don't care. I want it checked anyway, just to be sure.
All right. Cover all the bases. That's your job, right?
Right. Okay. Starting to get some results, but I'm not sure they'll do us any good.
What do you got?
Report on the gun. It's unregistered. We don't know who bought it, where, when, or anything else that'll tie it to anybody.
Oh, come on. Why would Anna go and use a weapon like that? Why wouldn't she use her own gun?
Maybe she didn't want it traced.
You know, I'm having difficulties believing she even tried to kill Olivia without trying to believe that it was premeditated, too.
Listen, we've got to check out all the angles here, no matter how unpalatable they might be.
All right, Robert, I know the routine, but I'm telling you, my instincts are fighting me every inch of the way.
Instincts or feelings?
Okay, so where do we go from here?
First thing in the morning, I'm going to have a talk with Anna. And believe me, she's going to have a hell of a job explaining her way out of this one.
Come on, how many times are we going to go over this stuff?
As many times as is necessary. Come in.
The lab just phoned, Commissioner. They finished the print work on the gun. The only ones they can find belong to Mrs. Lavery.
Oh, that cinches it. We've got enough, more than enough now to arrest Anna.
Nobody's arresting anybody.
Huh?
Nobody is arresting anybody just yet. I want to wait till that slug is recovered out of Olivia's body. We do a ballistics check, and if we get a match up, well, I'll arrest her myself.
So, Guy.
Yeah?
What we missed when you busted the mob party?
Oh, you missed a big party. You should have seen the mob bosses' faces. They thought it was part of a joke, I guess, still connected with the birthday celebration.
Oh, police business can be fun, huh?
Yeah, sometimes. Listen, Victor's mistress, she kept screaming, "You're killing him! You're killing him!"
What sort of shape's he in?
He's okay. Doctor in prison said that he can stay there overnight, and then he can go to his arraignment tomorrow.
Yeah, then the short-stay lawyer shows up, gets he and his cronies out on bail before the judge can sit behind the bench.
It's okay. Let them enjoy their freedom. We have enough evidence for a solid case against most, if not all, of the mob bosses.
Well, we've had a lot of good incriminating conversations from our waiters and waitresses with their microphones.
And the video in the meeting room, right?
Yeah, they were discussing an encyclopedia
of
felonies from murder to loan sharking and everything in between, before and after, I'm telling you. They might as well have had neon signs around their necks saying, "I'm guilty, I'm guilty."
Not to mention the records that Anna recovered with the help of Fran Woods.
Now, if the DA can't make a case out of this, he's never going to.
Yeah. Well, that part of the evening was an unqualified success. The rest, an unmitigated disaster. Scorpio.
Robert, this is Monica Quartermain.
Am I glad to hear from you?
Well, I'm not so sure that you're going to be after I tell you the news. And listen, by the way, I am sorry for not getting back to you sooner. It's been really touch and go ever since they brought Olivia in.
So what's the story?
I don't really know exactly where to begin.
to a bullet from the body?
We tried, yes, but Tony couldn't do that. He felt it was too risky. It's lodged right near her spine.
How many times was she hit?
Twice. The first one, it passed all the way through her, and it ended up rupturing a mammary artery right near her heart. She could have bled to death, and by the time we got around to going after the second bullet... Olivia just is too weak to withstand any more surgery.
How is she now?
I'm afraid that's the bad news.
You mean it gets worse?
Well, she woke from the surgery. She was fine. It looked like she was recovering very nicely, and then she just, she lapsed into a coma.
Oh, no.
Well, you can imagine how we felt.
What's the prognosis?
Well, it's not good. There's no telling when or even if Olivia will regain consciousness.